Today I'm going to show you the FlexiSpot E7 Pro height adjustable desk, or we can call it a sit-stand desk or simply a standing desk. I'm going to call it a standing desk. I think we all know what we mean. Oh, and if you stick around to the end of this video, you'll see the shot you know you want to see. I'm going to show you my current setup, tear it down completely, then unbox and set up the FlexiSpot E7 Pro. If you want to skip straight to the E7 Pro, I'll put a timestamp up there. But you'll be missing out, so hang around here a bit longer. But why do I like a standing desk? 2 words, my back, for which my doctor prescribed me this. And a course of group physiotherapy exercise sessions, both of which are good. When my back's good, I don't need it. When it's not so good, I like my standing desk. And my stick. So what's going on? This is my current setup. Well, it's one of my setups. I call it my alcove. Elsewhere, I have my grey room where I work. Work is, by the way, running audio masterclass courses on Pro Audio and making these YouTube videos. Here's a phrase, work-life balance. I need it, you need it, we all need it. So, until recently, I was working in my grey room all day, and when evening came round, or the weekend, I'd attempt to make what I laughingly call music. Oh, the laughter. Anyway, I have my work and music is my hobby. Music makes me a bit of money. Not nearly as much as it used to in the good old days before the internet, but I do it for fun. We all need fun. But where's the work-life balance in this? Working and hobbying in the same room, from crack of dawn to dead of night. But then I upgraded my computer. No big deal, you might say. Everyone does it. But it was for me. My old computer is a Mac Pro from 2010. Ancient. But in its day, it was the 3rd fastest Mac you could buy, according to Geekbench statistics. But as you know, computers slow down over time. No, they don't slow down, you just want to do more with them, and they can't keep up. My Mac Pro is still fast enough for everything I want to do, except video editing. It's infuriatingly slow. Infuriating. Yes, I know about proxies, but to explain why proxies don't work for me would be another topic entirely. So, my new Mac Mini M2 Pro is a fantastic upgrade for me. And after 13 years, it should be. I thought I would sell my Mac Pro. Old Macs retain quite a lot of value. But it turned out that some of my software wouldn't run on the new Mac. One example, my database management software that cost me $99 some years ago, maybe 10 years, $699 for the upgrade. And audio plugins too. Then an aha moment. I could keep my old computer and use it for music. So here it is. I can work in my grey room on my new Mac and make music on my Mac Pro in my alcove. Let's take a quick tour. I've mentioned the Mac Pro already, so that's done. My Samsung monitors, at least 10 years old, but they do the job. In fact, back in the day, I liked these so much that I have 3 more of them, and I still use them for various tasks. My vintage Yamaha DX7 that I bought in 1983 or 84. Actually, it isn't the original. I DX'd out after a while and traded it for a Roland D50. But then this came up on eBay and I snagged it for 80 quid. It needed another £80 worth of repairs, but it's a DX7 now fully functional on the cheap. I don't use it for its sounds, just as a master keyboard. I like the feel of the keys, the velocity response, particularly the aftertouch response, and the keys are nice and smooth just under here. Some keyboards have quite a sharp corner, and I can feel it while I play. The keyboard stand is a K&M model, very sturdy and a lot better than an X-type stand. One almost problem though, I have it in its lowest position and it's okay. I prefer things to be more than okay, so I'm not struggling on the edge of a problem. The problem would be that it's a struggle to move around. There are optional casters, quite expensive for what they are, I'll say, and they raise the height. Not good. It would be too high for me. But I invested in some sliders from Amazon and they work amazingly well. My audio interface is cheap, and cheerful, but it has the features and performance I need. If I shelled out for a more expensive interface, it wouldn't improve the quality of my music one tiny bit. That would be down to my audience awareness, my writing, my musicianship, and my ears. No speakers. I'm quite happy creating on headphones, then I'll mix and master on my Yamaha NS10M Studios in my grey room. Then of course check on my home cinema, B&Ws and elsewhere. One more thing before I get onto the desk, my old desk. I'm right-handed. Do you notice the position of the trackpad? It's a long story, but this is where I am, and I might tell the tale in a future video if anyone asks. Now, my old desk. A FlexiSpot. I think it's the E1 model. The worktop is a top I had already from IKEA. 20 years old now, and it has been used for everything, so it could do with a bit of a polish, but it works. But it has beveled edges underneath. I can't attach anything to it, so no handy mic arm for me. Not until I do some carpentry anyway. So what about the FlexiSpot E1? Why would I want to upgrade to an E7 Pro? Well, really there's nothing wrong, almost nothing wrong with the E1. It goes up and down, it's very sturdy, memories for 4 positions, of which I use 2. I really can't say anything bad about it, except this is the desk in my lower memory position, just the right height. Of course, the top makes it a little higher than we see on the display, but that's expected. Now, let me raise it. Again, just the right height for standing, but as I've said, I like to have more than enough, not just enough. Will it go higher? Well, yes, I'm 6'2", and at the top of its range, the E1 might have suited Andre the Giant. But what about low? The height I prefer for sitting is about as low as the E1 will go. Again, like the keyboard stand, I've just gotten away with it. But now, this is the problem. I might have wanted to put my DX7 on the desk, so then it would be too high. Too high for comfort. So apart from that one point, which I've worked around by having a separate keyboard stand, the E1 is first class, and I've never found a problem. I'll be interested to set up the E7 Pro and see what's even better. So here we go. I'm going to tear down and clear out my old setup. Okay, nice and clean. Don't worry, I vacuumed, but you didn't need to see that. Now I can start building up the desk. I'm not the best with flat-pack furniture, so I imagine I'll make a few mistakes and have to backtrack. Yes, I know you'd like to have a laugh at my mistakes, but I'm going to edit them out. You might be able to spot some if you have a keen eye. So, the first thing you'll need is someone to help you. The frame in its box weighs nearly 40 kilograms. The top, nearly 30. Of course, I'm going to do it all myself. Hey, I was a live sound engineer. I know how to lift. Okay, that was hard work, but not a problem. I can start by attaching the side brackets to the beam. Easy enough, though at first I misinterpreted the diagram in the instructions and got the beam upside down. Oddly enough, the side brackets fit that way, which had me scratching my head for a while. Moving on, you know I read all the promotional literature. I must have missed it somehow, but I wasn't sure how wide the frame would go. Anyway, it goes more than wide enough for the 180 centimetre top I have. So that's fine. It's a little bit fiddly to get this exactly in place with the pre-drilled holes in the top, but once fiddled, it's all good. This is going much more quickly in my video than it did in real life. As I said I'm not an expert with flat packs, and having to worry about the cameras as well made it, let's say, stressful. That's why I'm time-lapsing it. More of a comfort zone. And there are 2 cameras because undoubtedly one will pack in at some point. Now, the legs. I'm going to say at this point that everything is very well made and sturdy. You'd expect sturdy from the weight, and you get it. The legs go on really easily. And so do the feet. Looking at these, maybe Bigfoot was their inspiration. The keypad. Looking at this upside down, it's hard for me to work out which side is which. If I remember that the short ends of the legs are the back, and everything will twist around several rotations by the time it's upright, I'll just guess. That'll probably give me more chance of getting it right than me trying to work it out. Okay, now for the wiring. This is very easy. There seems to be a spare socket, but the diagram clearly shows that it's not used, so that's okay. I'll put the foot pads on, and since I have them, I'll stick on my sliders. The cable tray needs a bit more work because there are no pre-drilled holes. You might notice one of my mistakes if you look closely, or maybe I'll Photoshop it out. But there are no pre-drilled holes. That's fine. Measure twice and drill once. I took a woodwork class at school when I was 11. The cable tray is in 2 parts, and the desk has to be upright to attach the second part. So let's cover up the wires. The cover is magnetic. That's it, ready to flip. This is where really there should be 2 people, but I'm rough enough and tough enough, and I manage it without breaking anything or making a hole in the wall. Looking good. Let's bring in the gear. Let's start with the monitors. Since I have more space now, I can use my speakers. These are the B&W DM100, which I like because they have my initials in the model name. No, I had a pair of these in the 1980s and 90s, but I sold them due to a bad upgrade decision. eBay quite recently was my friend, and I snagged another pair for a decent price. No grills, but pros don't need grills, do they? Oh, they're closed box, as speakers should be. The stands are K&M, good stands and adjustable to the right height for my needs, but costly for what they are. Oh, well. My viewers complain when I put my speakers on plastic crates. The other new item is, of course, a power amplifier for the speakers being passive rather than active. It's the Fozzy Audio V3 that I tested recently. It's a decent amp in a handy package. The rather bulky power supply is going to be hidden under the desk. Notice I have the optional orange knob, which gives my sound true audiophile resolution. Audio interface, keyboard and trackpad. Oh, the computer. Nearly forgot that. And let's get some cables ready. From this point, I'm going to skip to the completed setup. You don't want to see me wrangling all those cables into the cable tray. And I'm not going to take too much care over neatness because I can see already that some cables need to be different lengths. So I'll get them ordered and tidy them up later when you've moved on to funny cat videos. So here we have it, the whole setup almost ready to use. You can see I've moved the amp, just a whim really. The power supply, which is as big as the amp and a whole lot uglier, is, as I said, in the cable tray. Let's test it. Standing position. Seated position. Good and good. So now we need the review. I'll start by saying that this desk is very solid and sturdy. There are certainly no corners cut here. The high position, 128.5 centimetres, is way higher than I need, so that's good. The low position, 63.5 centimetres, not including the top, is definitely lower than I need for normal use, and that's good too. If I put my DX7 on the desk, it would be about a centimetre higher than on my keyboard stand. I've already said that I don't like my music keyboard too high, and I could wish for that extra centimetre lower. But I can live with it, and anyway, I have the stand. Operation is pleasantly quiet and perfectly smooth. The maximum load capacity of 160 kilograms is surely more than any sane person would need. And of course, it's always good to have more than enough capability. I note that there's a duty cycle where you need to let the desk rest for 18 minutes if you've been using it for 2. Come on, you'd have to be fooling with it going up and down for a whole 2 minutes. I can't see anyone ever having a problem with this. The control panel with 4 memories is as perfect as it needs to be. I didn't point it out in the video or stills, but it has a USB port for charging. In life, one can always use another USB charging port. There's a child lock, which owners of small children will definitely appreciate. There's also collision detection with adjustable sensitivity. I might make another video testing this if I'm feeling brave. The instructions, well, I managed to make a mistake, which I corrected. so perhaps they could be just a little more clear. Or I could be a little less stupid. Generally, though, they're good. The worktop, well, you could use any worktop if you wanted, like with my original FlexiSpot E3 desk and my IKEA top. But you wouldn't want to. I ordered the maple top because I thought it would look good in my video. I don't think we'd be expecting solid maple all the way through, and I'm not going to test that. I don't know. But the quality and finish is excellent. It comes pre-drilled, so that's one less thing to worry about. Except it isn't pre-drilled for the cable tray. But with a tape measure, a pencil and a brad awl, you'd find it hard to go wrong. And if it does, well, just do it again. It's underneath and it won't show. The cable tray, well, there might not be much to say about that, surely. Well, I can say that my previous IKEA cable tray came apart and I had to epoxy it back together again. The FlexiSpot tray is 2 pieces of metal, nothing to go wrong or break. Oh, and the holes in the vertical piece, just big enough for a UK mains plug to go through. Well, I think that's it. There's absolutely nothing not to like about the FlexiSpot E7 Pro. You can sit, you can stand, your partner can share 2 of the memory positions. The desk will just get on with its job. I'll see you soon. Oh, that clip you wanted to watch.